everyone, and welcome back to the Raw Reviews channel. And we're back again with another awesome review. That being the Star Wars Vintage Collection VC219 Death Watch Mandalorian. So checking out the front of this card back, I love it so much. I remember seeing, the Death Watch Mandalorian from the first time seeing it live action in the Mandalorian series, and it was mind-blowing. Love the blue armor, things like that, so this was a must-have for me. And this is before they did, the sort of like retro card back you just saw there. But other than that, this was a really neat figure, so I'm really happy to finally have the time to review it here on the channel. I know it is an older one, but this is sort of like a Mando month that we're doing here, so this fits very well with that theme. So checking out the card back, we have this awesome picture of the Death Watch Mandalorian, the Star Wars The Mandalorian logo up there, and the figure and the accessories within the bubble. Right here on the bottom of the card back, you do get the Canner logo as well. And then checking out the back of the card back, you of course get the lineup of the other figures that you can collect. So we have Bib Fortuna, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Yoda, Quill, Fennec, the Death Watch Mandalorian, and the 501st Clone Trooper. And then the rest of it is just a bunch of warnings, things like that. And then you also get the VC number up on top. But I'll get him out of the bubble and we can go from there. And here he is out of the bubble. And checking out the Mandalorian figure, he looks incredible. Like I stated before, the bigger sort of like reason I love this type of like Mandalorian is the color of the armor plating. Just that really clean sort of like blue, and then you get these grayer tones for the rest of the outfit. Really match up very well. And I'll go ahead and start from top to bottom. Looking at the helmet, it comes in this really nice sort of shade of blue right here, and then you do get some lighter tones for the bottom part, things like that, around the visor. Overall, it does have this really clean look about it. No battle damage to the helmet whatsoever. The rangefinder, thankfully, does come down. I did like that feature a lot, where we had previously reviewed Cobb Vanth the other week, and I was a little disappointed that the rangefinder did not go down, but I'm really happy that this one does at least. And then, of course, he does have articulation at the wrist and the hand, so here's side to side, back, and forward. Looking at the torso, he does have this blue armor, like I mentioned before, with this chest plate. It does have this really cool, like, white decal right here on the side of his chest. He does have like this great undershirt going right here, and the figure was already equipped with one accessory, being this, the jetpack. You can easily take it off of the peg like that. It shows the peg right there. The jetpack doesn't have any functions, things like that, so the rocket isn't able to come out, but it does have the pegs, like I mentioned before with Cobb Vanth, so you can attach those right there to give the sort of like flying effect if you want. And then I'm pretty sure you can see it with the lighting, but he does have some battle damage right here in the chest plate. There's a little bit of like nicks and cracks throughout the armor. Looking at the arms, the arm is able to go out pretty good compared to it, being with a shoulder pad. It would make it a little bit more difficult, but luckily enough, it is able to make that sort of like movement. His arm is able to go all the way around, as you just saw. The elbow joint is right here. He does have like this double elbow, so you get some pretty decent movement, and then he does have movement at the wrist and the hand, and the other side as well. Arm goes out pretty good, goes all the way around with ease. His elbow joint does go up pretty nice right there with that double elbow of his, and then he does have movement at the wrist and the hand. And just like this one has the continuation of this decal right here, on this side you do get the Death Watch sort of like insignia or brand right here on the other shoulder pad. Looking at the waist, he just has this brown leather belt with a copper sort of like belt buckle. He has some pouches, and then right here on his right hip, he does have this long holster to, put away his pistol if you want. Looking at the legs now, surprisingly, he's able to go into a full-on split. He is able to sit down right there. Legs go back pretty decent. And looking at the rest of his leg, he does have a swivel right here on the thighs. And then looking at those knee joints, they are almost like double knees a little bit. They go just a bit farther than a kneeling position, as you can see. And that too, again, I forgot to mention, he also has pinless joints, so that makes the figure even better. And I like these knee pads. They work out really well with the rest of the armor plating that he has going on. And lastly, looking at the boots, he has these black leather boots. They point down, point up, and there is rock wrinkles to get some cool action poses. And now taking a look at his accessories, he goes a pistol. Looking at the pistol, it is almost like those like Mandalorian grade, like standard issue pistols that they have. So it has this very sleek look about it. This is one of my favorite builds with the gunmetal gray up on top, and then it has the brown grip right there. He is able to hold onto that pistol very nicely, as you can see right there. Fits like a glove in his hand. And then in case you don't want to use it, that's what that holster is for. So you just slide it in there, and it's very snug, so it won't come out. And last but not least, he comes with a rifle. Look at the rifle. This is almost like the one that Bosk uses. So also the Mandalorians tend to use this type of rifle as well. Comes in this solid black color, has a scope, this thumb hold stock, the foregrip right here. The only thing is, it's very flimsy compared to like the material they use for the pistol. So that is one thing to note. I don't know, the flexibility is just because of the way it's able to equip the rifle. We'll check in a minute. But yeah, it is almost like it would spin in like the sun, that kind of feeling. So it's very flimsy type of like plastic. And just like with the pistol, he's able to hold that rifle very nicely, as you can see. And yeah, I guess with that flimsiness of the rifle, looks kind of funky, but I guess it works. You're able to like, you know, get a better hold of it as far as like inside the hands, things like that. Especially like the foregrip. The hands are made specifically, which I do like. It's not just like two trigger fingers or things like that. This one is designed as a trigger finger, and then this one is just used for the foregrip. And with the articulation in play and everything that goes into this figure, look at this. You're able to do some really awesome like dynamic poses, especially him kneeling. That's something that's very difficult to do with like these types of figures. So I'm really happy that it works out, you know, extremely well with this Mandalorian. So as an overview of the figure, he's a 10 out of 10 right away. From the articulation to the accessories, everything is on point, especially with the overall look of the figure. And yes, I will specify again, this is an older figure, but look at what this older figure can do. Guys, this is a 3-year-old figurine. This came back in like 2022. So if this has the most like smoothest articulation that is out there, I give props to this figure. It is definitely worth the pickup. Again, I do know this is an older figure. I've said it many times, but if you get your hands on it, you know, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Most of the TVC type of figurines that I reviewed, some of them have been really stiff, things like that, or they just don't really come together as well as you'd think they would. But this guy caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting the articulation to be as smooth as that, you know, would expect. The overall look of the figure is great. The accessories work. So yeah, really good purchase in my opinion. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. And I'll catch you all on the next one.